Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode, we're going to start things off with the first knockout round draw for the Champions League. We're also going to play 2 games in the Premier League against Newcastle United and Manchester City. So first up, we are going to start with the automatic draw. We did finish top of our group, so we are one of the top seeded teams. Obviously, we're only going to face teams who finished second in their group. Manchester United and Barcelona is a decent first round draw for us. Get one of the big boys out quite early. Milan Benfica is not ideal. There we are. We have been drawn away from home against Monaco in the first knockout round. Now, Monaco, I'm not too sure. Have we played them? We might have played them last season at some point, maybe in the group stage. But I'm not too sure in terms of their quality level, what they're actually rocking with. In terms of the rest of the draw, Man City, Juventus is great. One of them two going out is fantastic. Dortmund, Liverpool, you'd imagine Liverpool are probably going to edge that one out. Red Bull, Leipzig, Porto, Real Madrid against Bayern Munich's fantastic. Inter Milan against PSG's also quite good. So we'll check Monaco. They're currently sitting third in the French league. This guy gets recommended to us pretty much every single transfer window. He's absolutely fantastic striker, still only 22 years old. He will be a danger when we play them. I have Peter Block highlighted for some reason. I've probably scouted him before. He is a little bit unbelievable. Oh dear. Who of this did this sign? Was it Red Bull Salzburg? I think it might have been. I'll quickly check to see where they've signed him from. It was again from Porto. Porto have signed him last season. They've signed him this season for £41.5 million. Alexander Golovin, they've still got some of the players who they start the game with. Ronnie Lopez, Yuri Tielemans, Balde Keita. Yandor Fuchs is playing for them. He's a decent little player. Benjamin Pavard. So they've got a decent team. They've got some splattering of absolutely fantastic players with a solid base around them. Do they have a better squad than us? I don't think so. We should get through. Right, so now that's out of the way. We are at our first game against Newcastle in the Premier League. There was a couple of games that were played in between. Arsenal was the first of which in the Premier League. And again, another disappointing draw. David Ibrahim had put us in front inside the 42nd minute. But Ruben Diaz equalised for Arsenal in the 85th. And it's our 5th draw in the league this season. And in the other game, it was just the League Cup quarter-final. We beat Norwich 3-1 at home. Fully rotated side. Darius Courtney got us the opening goal inside the 20th minute. Actually, it was an equaliser after Norwich had went ahead inside 11 minutes. Aquino got a penalty just before half-time, and Ryan Gravenberch made sure we went through safely to the semi-final. But we are playing Newcastle United at home in the Premier League today. And this is going to be the lineup that I think we're going to go with. And Antonio Carlos, of course, will start in goal. Thomas Tavares, Nathan Wood, Mark Ulich and Bilio Neves in the defence. Benty Ebb and Marco Bulat will start in the central midfield today. We are struggling a little bit with injuries. We'll talk about that after. Sebastian Yaros, David Ibrahim, Roberto Alvarado in the attack and midfield spots. And then we've got Rodrigo Marquez leading the line. So we're missing Jeremy Doku on that left-hand side. We're missing Gravenberch in the attack and midfield spot alongside Bert Jacobs. So we're really struggling in that position right now. And Aquino is suspended for this game after the sending off against Manchester United. So it is a little bit of a cobbled together side, I would say. Some people are struggling a little bit with the match conditioning, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll see how we get on. We are at home for today's game against Newcastle. With the sort of weakness of our first 11 could be a potential banana slip, but we should still have the better of the two teams, I think. So we kick off against Newcastle United, shooting from right to left. We really need to get back to winning ways in the league. Too many draws have cost us quite dearly in terms of the points in the Premier League. We'll take a look at the Premier League table after these 2 games. Early highlight, Rodrigo Marquez with a free kick, hits the bar and goes over. Another highlight now, 7 minutes in, is David Ibrahim driving forward. He gets dispossessed by the Newcastle centre-back, but thankfully we managed to retain possession with Alvarado on this left-hand side. Finds Marquez in the box. Goes for the strike. It was actually charged down by Jonathan Panzo. That's weird. That was a weird strike. Yaros with the corner. Gets cleared by them. That's probably the end of the highlight, I would imagine. Maybe not. Alvarado's in the box. Finds David Ibrahim. It's cleared again to Tavares on the edge. Great block by the Newcastle defence. Alvarado's picked a knock on that left-hand side. We really are struggling a little bit with injuries. We'll get Mbalo on for him. We don't want to exacerbate that injury too much. 39 minutes in, it's been a relatively quiet first half, all things told. But Vargas comes down the left-hand side for Newcastle. They're on the counter. Thankfully, Benty shows the work rate and the stamina to get back and block the pass. It's Newcastle though who've retained possession. Thankfully, Mark Yulich has managed to cut out that pass. But we seem a little bit out of position. But thankfully, Jaros picks it up on this right-hand side. He tries to get the ball in. Finds Mbalo. Great strike. And that's a fantastic save by... Is it Dubravka? Yeah, it is Dubravka. Great save by them. Disappointing first half so far. And now we are half-time. Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. We're not really creating too many opportunities. We are going to change things up just a little bit to try and retain possession a little bit more and hopefully find the right opportunities for us. Oh, Benty struggling with his conditioning in that defensive midfield role. We do have Jordan Henderson on the bench and we are going to make that change. We'll get Benty off, bring Jordan Henderson on just for a fresh pair of legs and to try and save them. We've got Man City next. We could really do with no injuries. 67 minutes in, there's a highlight. Rodrigo Marcos with a free kick. Goes to Yulich. And please say that's counting. It's going to VAR. It is classed as an own goal by Dubravka. But as long as that wasn't offside, we find ourselves going 1-0 up. Yes, the goal is upheld. Thank God for that. We don't see the replay, unfortunately, but it was a great strike by Mark Yulich. It bounces back off the post and hits the keeper and goes in. Rodrigo Marquez is in behind. Oh my God, that's a throw-in for us. Deflects off the, I think it was the keeper. Another highlight now with 15 minutes to go. It's us that are currently on the attack. Finds Jordan Henderson on the edge of the box. Back to Marco Bulat. Loads of space on this left-hand side. If they can find it, Ibrahim goes for the strike. It's blocked. The ball finds its way to Sebastian Jaros, who finds Tavares in the box. He hits the post. I thought for sure that was going into the back of the net. But unfortunately, things stay at 1-0. We've already made 2 substitutions this game. Mark Yulich, unfortunately, mate, I think you're going to have to stay on the pitch right now. Although, to be honest, we haven't got many other options. We're going to bring off Mark Yulich for Benoit Badiashile and just hope that the rest of our boys who are struggling can remain fit for the rest of this game. 5 minutes to go. There is another highlight and hopefully Nathan Wood does win the ball and we keep possession and we might even build something. You never know. David Ibrahim drives forward through the centre. He gets his strike on goal and he gets his goal from attacking midfield. His 10th goal of the season and an assist for Nathan Wood. Where's my replay? I had my replays turned off, of course I did. And there we are, full time. Brighton 2, Newcastle 0. Absolutely fantastic stuff. We are going to take a look at that Dubravka goal again. Marquez with the ball in. Yulich, that's just so unfortunate. I would be absolutely raging if that goal had went in against us. But thankfully it didn't. We get the 3 points today. Let's see what it does to the Premier League table. So this is how the Premier League table stands after that win. We are 3 points behind Manchester City, but we do have a game in hand and we are playing them right next. Liverpool are 1 point behind us with a game in hand, so unfortunately second place isn't guaranteed to be ours. Top 4 is incredibly tight. You've got Manchester United and Chelsea both banging on the door with Arsenal sitting in 4th. This is one of the tightest leagues so far, I think, that we've been involved in terms of the top of the table. We're going to have to cut out these draws. We need to cut them out. I mean, they're against Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, you can sort of understand. West Ham at home was a really big disappointment one. Swansea away again. I know I keep banging on about these draws, but they really are starting to cost us, I think. We've got Manchester City next, and we're without David Ibrahim for this game, who played in attacker midfield last game due to the injuries to Bert Jacobs and Ryan Gravenberch. So unfortunately, things have had to be changed again. This is how we're going to line up. Antonio Carlos in goal, Tavares, Gonçalves, Yulich and Julio in the defence. Jordan Henderson's going to play in the defensive midfield spot with Benty playing in the centre. Sebastian Jaros on the right hand side, Alvarado on the left, and Diogo Aquino playing in the attacking midfield spot for today's game. Rodrigo Marquez will lead the line. So of course Manchester City are probably our main competition alongside Liverpool for the Premier League title this season. They come at us with a 4-1-2-3. Sandro Tonali, Lewis Cook, Eric Dyer, Leon Bailey, Raheem Sterling, Josh Tyman, who we were after for the longest time, Edison, Upamecano, Jimenez, Johnny, they've just got a fantastic side. If we were to get beat today, I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully we can at least get a point, if not the win. So we kick off shooting from right to left in this first half. The replays for the goals are definitely on. Let's see how it goes with Alvarado getting absolutely hacked down by Jimenez to start with. Early highlight, 6 minutes in, and it's Manchester City on the attack. Eric Dyer with the strike. Thankfully, Antonio Carlos is equal to it. We are on the counter here. Alvarado, oh my God, that was an absolutely devastating counter-attack by us. The corner came in from Manchester City. It got cleared by us, so I assumed the highlight was over. But Jordan Henderson does it extremely well to play the ball down the line for Rodrigo Marquez on that right-hand side. He switches the play to Alvarado and acres of space, and that is a crucial finish for us. An assist for Marquez, a goal, 5th goal of the season for Alvarado. Fantastic opening 10 minutes for us. Bentiem's picked up a knock in defensive midfield. We do have Marco Bulat on the bench. We're going to potentially bring him on in the centre, and I think we're going to make that change. I just can't risk any more injuries going into the January transfer period. We're going to have to look at making some pretty big signings, I think, into the January, purely down to the injury situation we've got. I mean, they're not really long-term injuries, so they are going to return, but it's happening a little bit too frequently. Raheem Sterling or Eric Dyer on the edge takes a strike. I feel like if two of Manchester City's chances have both felt Eric Dyer, if it was any of their attacking players, they'd probably have equalised by now. And there we are, half-time. Brighton 1, Manchester City 0. We're doing incredibly well to hold off the attacking threat that they possess. We're going to have to keep an eye on and see if there's any changes in terms of their formation or tactic going forward in the second half. They still remain in how they lined up when the game first started. Let's hope we can still match the sort of levels we were playing at in the first half. There's an early highlight in the first half, 52 minutes in. It's a corner for us. Great challenge by Eric Dyer. Could have potentially been a penalty if he misses that ball, but he gets it. And we've pushed a lot of men forward here. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the counter-attacking opportunity that could be presented for Man City. As was that Henderson giving the ball away, and Raheem Sterling comes down the left-hand side. Loads of space for Lewis Cook there. Antonio Carlos saves the day. That should have been a goal. That should be 1-1. Sloppy play by us. We're going to go to a balanced team mentality, I think. Only a few minutes to go in the second half. Absolutely nothing's happened. The game sort of went away from us there. We'll get Mbalo on for Alvarado on that left-hand side. And we'll look to get Darius Courtney on the right-hand side for Sebastian Yaros. But thankfully, Manchester City are posing no problems. 3-4-3 they're at now. But it doesn't seem to be working for them. And 92 minutes in here, there's the full-time whistle. We've just beat one of our main contenders away from home. Incredibly fortunately, by the way. But we take them 3 points when we can get them. And going into the January transfer period, the Premier League table looks like this. We sit top of the table, unbeaten after 16 games. 38 points, level with Manchester City, but we do have a game in hand and the superior goal difference. Liverpool could still go above us if they win their game in hand. Even if they draw it, they will go above us as well. So we're not comfortably sitting top, but we're doing absolutely fantastically. So in terms of the January transfer period, that will be the next episode. We have £141 million to spend and £350k available in the wages. We'll see if there's anyone really kicking about. To be honest with you, nobody's come up in me scouting reports that I'm ready to spend the big bucks on. But the likes of Raheem Sterling's transfer listed by request. I could bring him in reasonably for 200k a week. I don't fancy doing that. But, you know, there is options out there. Should I be able to find them? We'll see next episode. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. And if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.